but had a 35th, her worst career semifinals finish in event number 2. Now on the outside looking in. For more on her, here's Bella Martin.
She is right on the outside, 14th, and she needs to be 11th. But if anyone I'm confident in, it's going to be Haley Adams, multi-time games athlete as a teen. As an individual, she knows what it takes to get there. She took the year off, new coach, new mindset, all around new Haley. Let's see if she has what it takes to get it done.
Emma Lawson right now tied for second overall with fellow Canadian Erica Folo.
Hey, man, I like this 80% of the time when it's rounds for time in this scenario. And we know there's lots of rounds, Sean. There's 7 of them. She's got a great chance to be in the top 10 because 80% of the time, that's where she finds herself.
80% of the time, it works every time. And there is your overall leader. It's like she never left. A perfect 2 for 2.
Man.
And if you weren't with us earlier, her lowest event finish ever at the semifinals, 3rd.
Bad news if you're competing against Tia-Clair Toomey, Sean.
If you're competing against Tia-Clair Toomey, you're probably going to have a bad time. The 4th and final heat is underway. Alexis Rathis has the top time, 11 minutes 10.68 seconds. Hustle Up is the official timekeeper of the CrossFit semifinals. You can scan the QR code on the screen for a chance to win a CrossFit World Tour visiting CrossFit gyms around the globe. Terms and conditions apply.
Hands going up already for these athletes. You get an idea of the kind of pace that they're going to set. Again, a lot of these women, they're not coming out too hot. They're not going to sprint out the gate and then fall off. They're looking to establish a pace that allows their heart rate to gradually build into rounds 3 and 4 so that they can stay in it for the latter part of the workout.
Tia Toomey first to the rope climb along with Emma Lawson and Haley Adams. And now Danielle Brandon on the left side of the screen in lane 3. Now first set of 10 box jump overs, 7 total rounds here.
A lot of speed on these box jump overs. It is mandatory that they step down the box jump, so it's important to understand these athletes got to keep that in mind every time they get ready to finish for the last jump. We've seen it in the several weeks of the semifinals. It's a temptation to jump down on the last one, so through that transition, they've got to remain focused and remember to hold that standard of stepping down.
Lawson and Toomey to the rope to close out round number 1. Now back to the bike. Here comes Haley Adams.
Wow. And Tia's transition to the bike was very impressive. That's something that can go quickly ignored, but she sat down and immediately the pedals were moving. Her hands weren't even on the erg yet, and she was already creating that forward momentum. This adds up through the course of 7 rounds.
10 calories on the Rogue Echo bike may not sound like a lot, but these athletes are making it look easy. It is the piece of equipment everyone loves to hate, but it is so effective. Rogue Fitness is the official equipment supplier of CrossFit and the CrossFit Games. Grab your gear at roguefitness.com and try out some of these workouts for yourself.
And this is where the workout starts to become a little bit different for the females than it was for the males in regards to often the limitation in grip strength and upper body pulling stamina starts to set in. And some of these women are going to have an astronomical amount in reserve. So they're going to be able to set a more aggressive pace on that Echo bike that you were just talking about, Sean. And some have to be more reserved because they're not ready for more rope climbs yet.
The top 3 on the screen right now. Tia Toomey is your leader in the heat. Emma Lawson in 2nd place. Danielle Brandon on the far right side right now in 4th. As Haley Adams in the pink top towards the upper middle of your screen is in 3rd. Now think back to last year in Orlando, that great battle we saw between the Emmas, Emma Lawson and Emma Carey on that burpee box jump over event. So we know Emma Lawson can find another gear on this movement.
Oh yeah, find another gear on the movement. Also, I mean, even referencing that particular event, Sean, that had those weighted ring muscle-up complexes that were present. And that's really what allowed her to kind of get out into those box jump overs. And this rope climb is a similar stimulus, testing the strength, testing the capacity in their upper body pulling.
There's Danielle Brandon, 5th place overall with 167 points. She's only 9 points out of 2nd place.
This can be a very powerful event for Danielle, especially if she can dial in the pacing. She has a great history of top 10 finishes 83% of the time. I'm sorry, 86% of the time when there's legless rope climbs involved.
Tia Toomey off the bike ahead of Emma Lawson. Alexis Rathis has the top time, 11 minutes, 10.68 seconds.
Emma and Haley both chipping at the heels of Tia here, and we saw how fast the lead can diminish with Dallin Pepper and Roman Krennikov just a few heats ago in the men's finale. So it's one of those things where Tia's got to remain focused regardless of where she's at, regardless of where the competitors are, all the way through as we start to begin to enter the halfway point of this particular event.
Toomey is now through her third round, moving into round 4 of 7. And pulling ahead of Emma Lawson, who's now got to start worrying about Haley Adams, because Haley Adams, as you mentioned, Adrian, right there with Lawson in the fight for second place in the heat.
That's right, all these women remaining urgent in their transitions, almost running back to the rope every time that box gets a little bit further. Quick back to the bike as we see Haley Adams get that thing moving again.
Jocko Go and Mulk are sending you to the CrossFit Games in Fort Worth. Enter to win a VIP trip for 2 to the CrossFit Games, VIP tickets to the games, airfare, lodging, and a meet and greet with Jocko Willink. Head to jockofuel.com/VIP trip to enter.
Now Haley got onto that bike just a touch after Emma. It looks as though she has a bit of a faster rate in regards to her cycle rate, so she might be being on that bike a little bit more an aggressive pace, looking to close the distance or even build speed as she accumulates these rounds.
Toomey starting to pull away from the 2 women immediately behind her, lanes 4 and 6. Emma Lawson just making the touch in lane 4. Haley Adams in lane 6. Toomey looking for her 13th career semifinals of.
Tia making easy work of these rope climbs, hardly any kip at all. Plenty of upper body pulling stamina in reserve for her. Emma Lawson starting to use a bit of a kip at the end. Haley doing the same thing. That last grab that they make with both hands, they pause, swing their legs through, and then allow that vertical momentum to take them up to make the tag. The downside with doing that is it starts to cost you about 1.5 seconds each rope climb, but equally in return, they're doing that to save their grip and try to keep their arms as fresh as they can.
Haley Adams, who went from second place to 14th in one event, finished 35th. That's her career worst finish to the semifinals. In event number 2, still plenty of points out there. Needs a strong showing here to get herself back inside the top 11. And if she just stays close to Emma Lawson, that's going to be a solid result for Haley Adams as Tia Toomey continues to make a mockery of another event here at semifinals.
Yeah, and even with the experience, I mean, Haley's sitting out a year. She's got plenty of experience. She's a Moxie CrossFit Games competitor. She's been a teen champion. She's been to the CrossFit Games. She knows what it's like to be chasing the top of the podium. And so she's not going to lose her cool just with a bit of an event setback. She understands that she can handle business, and she'll be doing so continually throughout the rest of the weekend.
Tia Toomey closing out round number 5. And she is well ahead of Alexis Raptis' pace. From heat number 3, Raptis with that top time of 11 minutes, 10.68 seconds. Lawson and Adams continue to be neck and neck here. A good battle behind them between Paige Semenza and Danielle Brandon for 4th, as Brandon and Semenza are now onto the box, closing out round 5.
Haley making the touch after that kip. Her rope climb is reminiscent of what we just saw from Alexis Raptis in the last heat, driving her heels to her bum every time she makes a pull. Again, Haley taking a bit more of an aggressive speed on the bike versus Lawson. This could be a place where she continues to make up a little bit of ground, as we know Lawson has tended to have a slight edge on her getting to the bike each and every round. Hand up for Haley.
Tia back to the rope here in round 6 of 7. 11:10.68 seconds from Alexis Raptis. The time to beat here. And Tia Toomey is well ahead of that pace at this point in the event.
Yeah, and this is where she starts to hit that light speed, right, Sean? Like, not only is she familiar with leading, but it, like, feeds the machine. As she starts to see the other competitors start to die off her pace, she builds it.
Well, Haley Adams has passed Emma Lawson. Adams getting to work on her set of box jumps here in round 6. Slightly ahead of Emma Lawson as Adams got off the rope first, sprinted to the box, and that's what gave her the lead here heading into round number 7. We'll see if she can hold it. As Toomey is now into round number 7.
Not losing a step there by Tia, but here we go. This is the race. Haley and Lawson heading back to the bike. Haley's continued to chalk up about the last 3 rounds on the second rope climb here. Doesn't really cost her much time, but that can add up. But it's on the bike that she's been able to start to pass Emma, now looking to try to pull away in some way, shape, or form. She's got to make moves here because it's going to be a close race to the finish.
Well, Haley, you can see her looking to the right, trying to, I guess, maybe get a look. I don't know if she can see Lawson's monitor from that distance, but maybe looking to see where Tia is.
Yeah, and I can tell you what you look at as a competitor, Sean, is at least how fast the hands are moving front to back. You get an idea of someone's RPMs. You might not be able to see the monitor, but you can get an idea of their rate.
Final rope climb for Tia Toomey. Getting closer to her 3rd event win here at the semifinals and the 12th of her career. She has a minute to get these reps done to beat Alexis Ratis. Well, Haley Adams is off the bike and done with the rope climb as Emma Lawson is now just getting to her final rope climb. Here comes Haley Adams. Tia Toomey, 3 events, 3 wins for the 6-time fittest woman on earth. Haley Adams has a chance to finish in second, 11:10.68. Now that's the second best time, and Haley Adams will do it. She rebounds nicely from that finish in event 2, and now Emma Lawson is in.
Consistent greatness from these 3. I mean, look, Haley rebounding like that is a huge, huge ode to her maturity as an athlete, and just knowing that she can handle the business and gain points where she needs to.
Danielle Brandon is in a battle for 4th place in this heat with Paige Semenza. Semenza at the top of your screen, a rep ahead of Danielle Brandon.
Well, Semenza making fast work of these jump shots. She's going to be hard to catch.
Semenza is done. She'll take 4th place in the heat. And here comes Danielle Brandon across the finish. On lane 10, Lydia Fish to the box for the final time.
Fish, a young athlete, just consistently performing this weekend in through these first 3 events. Very impressed by her output.
Fish is done. And Carolyn Stanley is onto the box. And there is Brooke Wells, who is in last place in the heat right now. She came in 4th place overall with 170 points at Brooke Wells. That's Erica Folo, who was tied with Emma Lawson for 2nd place in the overall standings coming into this event. Folo is in. Amanda Barnhart looking to be the next woman to finish. Brooke Wells hustling to the box for her final round as Barnhart comes across the finish line.
And Brooke doing what she needs to do with execution. Historically, Brooke is in a position where, yeah, she's not comfortable, but no one is at this event. And we know upper body pulling is something she works tirelessly at. She's looked to improve over the last few years, but it doesn't come overnight. Just like Haley trying to get strong, it takes time. They got to put in the commitment, and that's what makes them pros in our sport.
And with that, the women have reached the halfway point of the competition, and Tia Toomey is perfect. 3 events, 3 wins, and this one was never in doubt either.
Oh my goodness, it was never in doubt. I mean, Tia got off with the intention of blowing everybody out of the water, and she did just that, putting on a show, not just for our crowd, but also, hey, for our family, right? Leading by example. She does a great job again, remaining ruthless, never relenting, even as she builds a lead. It's almost like I mentioned in the middle of the heat, Sean, it's like it feeds the beast. She continues to get faster and faster throughout, putting on a show and a great example of her overall capacity. Just impressing us yet one more time.